I want you to check your understanding as we work independently, and then I'm going to tell you some things to help you study. So like this, knowing the key features to the parabola or to a graph, a quadratic graph, this was on this paper here, these set of notes, okay? We analyzed the graph. Stop the talking, please. So your axis of symmetry is an equation. It's the vertical line that cuts the parabola in half. That should be x equals -3. Your vertex is your turning point. It's -3, -1. It's the order pair. It is a minimum. Your zeros are where the parabola touches the x-axis.
-4, -2.
Yeah. -4 and -2. Your zeros are also called your solutions, or sometimes they refer them to the root. Okay. Y-intercept, that's our order pair here where it touches the y-axis. That's at 0, h. Domain is all real numbers. And our range is our y values since it's opening up. Yep. All right, now, same concept. Now the graph is related to a real world situation. So this is modeling a golf ball being hit off the tee, showing the flight of the ball. Yes. Huh? All right, so they want you to determine the domain based on this situation. So it's not all real numbers for this problem. Put that away. Put that away.
Domain is x, right?
Yes, your domain is your x values. So let's see what y'all think.
So how do we write that?
Yes, this is it.
So
Is 0 less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 230.
Why is it less than equal to?
Because 0 is less than 230. That's why it's less than or equal to.
Yeah.
The number 0 is less than 230. All right, let's do y values here. That's our range. Let's try that.
It has a domain. Sometimes the real ones are real, don't you?
Not
Real life things, though.
Yeah, this graph, it's all real numbers if you see arrows pointing down, like it keeps going and going and going. But this stops at 230. Okay, so we can't say all real numbers for every graph. It depends on the graph that they give you. What about the y? Where are the y values?
Oh, wait.
6 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 36.
0.
0.
The highest you could get is what? It's the 36, yeah. This is our y right there. That's a y. And this is the lowest y. So 0 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 36. It would be wrong. Because you're saying that this graph keeps going, and it doesn't. It stops at 0.
So like if it kept going, you would just put all the numbers.
For domain. Yeah, not for range.
For range, so y is less than or equal to not to 0.
Yes, the 36. Okay, now, what if you don't receive the graph, like on number 8? So what's our approach to find the vertex? Yeah, right here, boom. Anytime it's in y equals, we should use our graphing calculator, GC.
We have to put that on the test.
That's what we've been doing.
You put second graph or graph?
What do we?
It's like the graph, right? I just use both of them or just.
Well, it depends on what you see.
20.
Just see the last one.
I think 20.
How do you find out?
It's 20. 0.
Oh, I forgot to put, there's a typo in here, sorry. It should be 12x.
Oh,
Right here. There you go, sorry. Y is equal to 4x squared plus 12x plus 8. Okay? Let me get where you are.
That's why.
what?
Alright, so
0?
we want the vertex. So how are we going to let the graph find the vertex?
Second is the minimum.
Yeah, good. Second trace minimum, because this at a minimum. Do y'all remember what to do from here?
Enter.
Nope.
No. Enter once and go to left side. Enter twice.
We can't press enter 3 times. We can only do that when we're doing intersection. We're doing minimum.
You
It-
gotta go on the left side.
Yes, down here it says left bound, so we have to move the cursor to the left side.
And then press enter once. Inside -1.
Then you move it to the right side because it says right bound.
Press enter.
And then you press enter one more time. And there we have a minimum value. Negative 1.5, comma, negative 1. Yes. Negative 1.5, comma, negative 1. Okay, yeah, so you do y equals, you put it in the graph, right? You hit the graph. You have to now hit second trace. And then you have to pick minimum or max. It just depends on your graph. Okay, after you do that, you have to do left bound, or I'm going to say move cursor.
I don't have the cursor. That's not fun.
Then move it until it shows it. Like hit the arrow until, keep holding or moving the arrow until you see the cursor pop up.
Putting it down.
Look at your numbers. How are they changing? Are they going up or down? Because that will tell you if you're getting where you are on the graph. If it's going up, I'm going up the graph. If it's positive numbers, I'm going up. If it comes negative numbers, that means I'm going down. All right. Cursor, left bound, enter. Then you have to move right bound. Enter. Yeah. And then you have to enter one more time.
But I don't know. I can like it doesn't show it.
You have to keep moving it, right? Where's your calculator?
She's trying to.
Will you give her the calculator so she can see what she's doing? Okay, so, okay, number 9, let's look at it. Approach it like you're taking the test. What do you think you should do? Read it, and then let's see, because you can do it multiple ways to solve, but let's come up with a method to get to a solution.
Oh, X puzzle.
Which is what? What are you referring to?
Like the what we were mentioning.
Yes, you can use a quadratic formula. So that is one of the methods, yes.
I have to use that. That's what we use. Yeah.
Yes, you could use that. There's another way.
X puzzle.
Yes, you can. You can use the X.
Puzzle.
So if you use the X, how do you set this up?
Whoa! Toss.
God, it was.
Would be -4 and -5.
Yes, you said your factors are -4, -5. Then to write that in factor form, yes. It's on the formula chart. You don't have to memorize it. It's on the formula chart. So how would I write the factors forms of this? No, that's x equals. That's not factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for factoring, you don't change the sign, but for like x equals, you
Thank
do.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So
Well,
for
yeah.
factors, this is factors. You don't change the sign for factors.
Good job, guys.
Well, you don't.
No.
No.
You don't change the signs for the
But once
factors.
it's outside of parentheses, you do like
Yes.
X
Yeah.
equals and then
For the solutions, you do the opposite. Yes. Okay. So
How do you know when to do like when you learn how to do like the A times when do you know when to do that?
maybe if it's like a big number, so like for example, the
there has to be an A, basically.
Or like a number in front of the X.
Yeah, that's the only time. All right. Let's look at 10. What would you?
I am not
oh, you have
sure.
to cut all the numbers and just put the left side.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can.
Has to equal 0. You're right. So our first step should be minus the 2x. There we go. And plus 2 to get rid of that minus 2.
Minus.
Okay.
Okay, so now that we do that,
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Oh, no, not minus.
Negative 5x.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
work smarter, not harder.
There we go. All right. Now, this has an A, so if you want to use the slide and multiply, you can on this because it has an A.
But we can use the X, right?
But if you use the X, you have to slide and multiply. You have to, because there's an A. There's a lead coefficient here.
So it's just like do
Huh? No, you can only use the square root when there's no middle term. There's a middle term here.
B.
Oh, so you can only use the x puzzle if there's
Hold on a minute.
never mind.
All right,
I know what I'm saying.
so let's see if you can get to a solution here.
Okay. Okay. Well, that would make more sense. That's not just
Okay, if you do y equals
Y equals.
this equation and your y1,
Interesting equation.
Are you talking about 11?
I'm talking about number 10. Because someone asked, how do you see the intersections? To do the intersection, you have to have two equations in the calculator. So this would be y1,
And then Y0.
y2 would be 0. And then you can do what we're talking about, the intersections. Like, so if you struggle on finding the factors, that's what I'm trying to get at. If you sometimes forget what method, you have to put both equations in to do the intersection trick on the calculator. So, like if I wanted, we had what, 2x, oops, it was minus 5x.
Which one is that?
Plus 4, plus 2.
11? 11 doesn't have an A. I mean, it doesn't have a C.
So when you graph them, oh, I must have changed that, sorry.
Do an invisible 0?
Oh, plus 2, I said 4, sorry.
Not
So
Forget algebra.
you have to have both equations in, and then you can do second trace,
Well, what is it?
5, enter 3 times, and there you get that intersection.
What's this?
So to do intersections, you have to have two equations in. All right, last two questions. 11.
11. Very close.
All right, what would you do here? Because it says solve it. Plus 32.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Oh, what about
To isolate the variable.
Divide by 2 to isolate the variable, so we get x squared equals 16.
Oh, right, you are. So. Wait. This is doing it. Okay, My God.
Guys, this makes sense. Plus minus 4.
Why are you looking at this?
Yeah, you can do a GCF first and then solve it.
I'm so
Because there's no middle term here.
How do you do numbers?
Like,
Yes.
there's no middle term. So I can solve this. This is the middle term. There is no middle term. So
Oh.
whenever there's no middle term, we can just solve for the A, for the lead term. So you have to just solve it like a regular equation. Isolate the variable.
Okay, so then there's no middle to just like the regular.
Now, someone already saw a different method because there's always more than one method, guys. There's not just one way to solve every problem. Here, I saw the coefficient and I saw it goes into 32. So you could do a GCF. That would give you x squared minus 16 equals 0. Because the 2's will cancel right here. And then you can see this is a difference of squares. So whenever I have a subtraction between two perfect squares, it's x minus 4 and x plus 4.
By 2, like, what do you do to the x squared?
You take the square root.
Out.
No, just take the square root of 16, yes.
Bad.
All right. On number 12, there's a hint to what you should be doing because anytime I have a radical symbol in the answer choice, that is the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula, which says negative b plus or minus the square root. Y'all remember that yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
Anytime I see the square root, that I should be using the quadratic formula to get to a solution. So this would be b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. But the problem is this is not in standard form.
So you have to make it into there.
You have to make it into standard form, yes. This right here, to me, the easiest way to make that into standard form is to move the 4 and the 7x. So here's what it would look like. It would be 9x squared minus 7x minus 4 equals 0. When you have this done, you want to get a laptop and do your extra credit to properly prepare for your test. It's star-like questions. It's the star-like question types, meaning drag and drop, click on the graph, okay, matching. So you want to use your strategies to see how well you are answering the questions. There are some that will give you explanation or hints after you solve it. You have to get an 85 or higher to get the bonus. All right, you should have got B if you did it right. Let's get to reviewing.